believe they're going to win this series in 6 games. I believe they can beat the Phoenix Suns in the conference finals. And now, all of a sudden, the East looks as wide open as ever because we don't know about Kyrie. We don't know about James Harden. I don't even know about Blake Griffin. We'll get to that in just a moment here. I'm not sure about any of that. So is it Milwaukee? Is it the Sixers? Will the Hawks make a desperate rally? It could be anybody's ball game in the East, and it's why I love the Clippers in the West and in the finals. But here's the point. The Clippers have this thing in them. They have to do it the hardest way. So tonight, if they fall behind 3-1, maybe they feel like we need to be down 3-1, where we have to fight back from 3-1 down. I sure hope not, because that will take 3 more years off my life. And they are, again, the most frustrating team to watch. Again, I'm glad nobody has a tape of me during the Clippers games, because they drive me way crazier than the Cowboys have ever driven me, because they do dumb stuff. They miss easy shots. Kawhi missed a layup in the first quarter. He just got to the basket and just laid it up too hard and it went completely over the rim. Right. But then he redeemed himself by turning back into Kawhi Leonard. Here is the key to me. Here's why I believe the Clippers will slowly but surely show you they're better than the Jazz. What did we see in game number 1 at Utah? Well, the Clippers came out and just took the game over, and they led by 13 at half, and they did not play well in the third quarter, but they fought back in the fourth quarter and had a last shot to tie at the end of regulation, right? What did we see in game number 2? From the mid-third quarter to the mid-fourth quarter, the Los Angeles Clippers went on a 46-23 run. That's hard to do at Utah. It's a hard place to play. To beat them by 23 points over a whole quarter stretch, 46-23, to go ahead by 2 points on a big Reggie Jackson, Mr. June, 3-point shot. And I thought, we got him. We don't got him, because the Clippers proceeded to miss 9 straight shots, including 7 threes. And you know the end of that story. The game fell apart. Then what did I see on Saturday evening? They won that game by 26 points. So I just showed you 3 games. There are big, long stretches in all 3 games when you say, well, the Clippers are just a little better than the Utah Jazz.
Well, Skip, when I said they didn't come out with the intensity, if you look at it, yeah, they had an 8-0 lead. Then all of a sudden they let Reggie Jackson get off 2 threes that he's uncontested. They started letting guys get uncontested shots. That's the thing that they normally are more engaged than what they are. They know the paint is protected. So look, you can hug up a little tighter, because if they get past you, they're not going all the way to the rim. They're not trying to see Rudy Gobert there. But Reggie Jackson walks into 2 threes, and the next thing you know, Skip, we got a tie ball game. And so now it changed the whole complexity of the game, because the Clippers like, oh, we right back. But, Skip, if Reggie Jackson and Paul George are going to go 11 for 16 from the 3, the Jazz got their work cut out for them. And another thing, you said the Jazz shot the highest percentage from 3-point this year as a team.
They did.
Well, if you let them make 19, that percentage, because they don't normally shoot that many. Well, if they get the #1 percentage shooting team, they make 19. What is their percent going to be? That's going to be well over 50%.
Okay, look, this was a microcosm of the year, what happened on Saturday night, because both teams made 19 threes. But Utah took
44.
8 more than the Clippers did. So the Clippers wound up shooting 53%, and your team wound up shooting 43%, which is not bad, but still, my team makes them more consistently.
Utah needs to take and make more threes than the Clippers, because the Clippers going to shoot a higher percentage. Well, if they're making the same amount and they're shooting a higher percentage, well, what does that tell you? But look, I'm going to trust Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to trust, because he gave somebody a thumbs up. I don't know if it was D. Wade. I don't know if it was his mom or somebody in the crowd. He gave the thumbs up, says, no, I'm good. I'm good. And he said, you know, there's no sense in him going back in the ball game down 16 in a situation like that. So I agree with him. But they're going to have to come out. The Clippers understand that, Skip, their back's against the wall. They couldn't go down 3-0, Skip.
Could not. Unless that's just how you think.
No, you don't want to use Skip, because we've never seen a team come back from 3-0.
Now for my X factor tonight and going forward. There's one player on my team who has been MIA for much of the playoffs, many games through the playoffs, but especially for these Utah games. He is the player I trust the most to make a big shot. And he is 31 years of age, and he has been in this league for 10 years. So he's been there and done all of the above. and his name is Marcus Morris Sr.
He struggled the first 3 games.
Struggled is to put it mildly. Marcus Morris Sr. in the first 3 games against Utah is 1 of 16 from 3. He is the real pandemic P, has been Marcus Morris.
Right.
1 of 16. He went 1 for 9 in that game 1 at Utah, 0 for 5 in the next game, and then he decided on Saturday night, maybe I shouldn't shoot very many threes. He tried 2 and missed both of them. 1 for 16.
Yeah.
I'm going to remind everybody, during the regular season, the Clippers led the league in three-point shooting percentage, and leading the Clippers at 47% of his makes. That's almost half of the shots that he took from 3 was Marcus Morris Sr. Against Dallas, he was up and down, but overall he was 17 of 38. So he shot 45% overall against Dallas.
You can live with that.
And in that game 3, from that one far corner over there, right in front of the Dallas bench, he hit 3 in a row in the fourth quarter that just sealed their fate.
Game 3 and 7 justified you getting the 4 years, $64 million, because
that is correct.
Even though Kawhi was sensational in Game 7, Skip, without Marcus Morris, you're not winning that game, even though Kawhi is playing out of his mind.
And I remind everybody, he was a Knick last year. I'm sorry, 2 years ago. And I think the Knicks have missed him because he's a big shot taker and maker until Utah. He has to snap out of it. History would scream that tonight he will snap out of it. I trust him because I know they trust him. And I know his brother will tell him, his twin brother obviously plays for the Lakers, Markieff. He'll tell him, as he did before Game 7 against the Mavericks, you're that guy. You know, you've done this before. Just shoot it like you mean it.
Yeah.
Well, if he will tonight, and they start to fall, when his shots start to fall, you better look out because this team is lethal.
Well, maybe, Skip, they flip roles. Maybe Reggie Jackson is that guy now. Because we look at the last 3 games of the Dallas series and the first 3 games of this series, he's been sensational.
He has been sensational to the point that he has moved Patrick Beverley out of the starting lineup and barely hanging on in the rotation. But I want to compliment Pat Bev because Saturday, Ty Lue used him in strategic stretches to just bother Donovan Mitchell, just to nag him, just to annoy him, just to irritate him, just to get up in him and clap and pat him on the butt.
Got a couple turnovers from Joe Ingles.
Just do some things that get under people's skin. And so I appreciate that Patrick Beverley is still barely in the rotation, and I hope he gets some reps tonight on Donovan Mitchell just to bother him.
Skip, Reggie Jackson only took 8 shots. He made 6 of them. He was 5 or 6 from 3.
That'll work.
So even though Marcus Morris Sr. might be struggling, Skip, he's doing more than making up the slack, because you think about it. Even there were games when he got them back in Game 2. Paul George and Kawhi was struggling. It was Reggie Jackson's 16 points in the third quarter that really kept them close so they can make that run. He's been playing phenomenal. The question is, Skip, moving forward, do you trust Reggie Jackson to keep playing the way he's playing over the last 6 games, and Paul George? And I think we're going to talk about Paul George. Do you expect to see another performance like this? Now, what we saw Saturday was the Paul George in Indy when he was going head-to-head with LeBron when LeBron was with the Heat.
Okay. Let me discuss him briefly, Paul George. This is my gut feeling as a Clippers supporter about Paul George. I told you all through the regular season I was seeing a different guy. I was seeing a guy who grew up and faced up to his demons that he faced in the bubble when he got ridiculed for saying that he was mentally crumbling and needed help. And the point is, through the regular season, he took so much verbal abuse from so many. And I just hope the Clippers get to the Suns, because his #1 tormentor was Devin Booker. Am I right?
Yep.
So I want to see Pandemic P versus Book in the conference finals, because it would be epic. It would be legendary. And my money will be on Paul George to play complimentary star basketball. That's all he's ever been, is the complimentary star. He is the 1A to Kawhi. He is